Emily jumped like a happy dog around her mom, Sarah. Her blue eyes gleamed with anticipation as she twirled, her long blonde hair swishing. The Williams' large suburban house was bustling with bustle as they got ready for Emily's 18th birthday celebration. "It's unbelievable that you and Dad organized such a wonderful celebration for me, Mom. I adore you all very much." Emily gave her mother a hard embrace and exclaimed. Sarah was filled with the aroma of her well-known perfume, a blend of vanilla and jasmine. Sarah smiled bittersweetly as she rubbed her daughter's hair. "Obviously, my dear. The age of 18 is significant. I must say, though, that your father and I feel a little depressed. Our little girl is now an adult." Playfully rolling her eyes, Emily drew back to gaze at her mother. "Don't be theatrical, Mom. I am not moving out tomorrow or anything like that." Sarah laughed, but her tone was tinged with sadness. "Yes, I am aware. However, before long, you'll be attending college and getting married, leaving us all by ourselves in this large, deserted house." "Never," Emily exclaimed, giving her mother a closer embrace. "I will never marry. I will always be here with you and Dad." Sarah's green eyes glistened with laughter as she arched an eyebrow. "Really? How about Jake? I felt that the two of you were becoming quite serious." Emily busied herself tidying a neighboring vase of flowers while her cheeks turned pink. "Jake? We're simply buddies, Mom, that's all." Sarah buzzed with awareness. "Well, Emily, whether you have friends or not, you're maturing. All of it is a part of life." Emily let out a loud sigh and collapsed on the soft couch. All right. But when I do move out, I swear I'll be back often. Could we please now concentrate on more significant matters, such as my outfit for tomorrow?" The tension was relieved when Sarah laughed. "My little fashionista, of course. To discover the ideal ensemble for the birthday girl, let's browse through your closet." Sarah felt a twinge of shame as they made their way upstairs. If only Emily were aware of the reality. She was troubled by the secret she and Robert had maintained for 18 years. Across town, in a much less affluent neighborhood, Kate hurried down the street, her second-hand sneakers slapping against the cracked sidewalk. Her long blonde hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and her blue eyes were focused intently on the path ahead. The rundown buildings and graffiti-covered walls were a stark contrast to the manicured lawns of Emily's neighborhood. Kate had recently started working at Bella Luna, an upscale Italian restaurant, and she was determined to make a good impression. She'd begged for a job as a waitress, but the owner, Mr. Thompson, had been firm. "You'll start as a dishwasher," he said gruffly, his bushy eyebrows furrowed. "Prove yourself, and maybe we'll talk about moving you up to waitressing." "Got it." Kate had nodded eagerly, her heart pounding with determination. She needed this job, needed the money for her plans to attend community college in the fall. She was going to make something of herself, no matter what. As she rushed along, lost in thought about her upcoming shift, Kate didn't notice the uneven patch of sidewalk. Her foot caught, and she stumbled, bracing herself for impact with the hard concrete. But the fall never came. Instead, she felt strong arms catch her, steadying her on her feet. The scent of cologne, a fresh, citrusy scent, filled her nostrils. "Whoa there. You okay?" a deep voice asked. Kate looked up, her eyes meeting warm brown ones. The guy holding her was gorgeous, tall, with tousled dark hair and a kind smile. His strong hands were still on her arms, sending a jolt of electricity through her body. Yeah, I'm fine," Kate stammered, feeling her cheeks heat up. "Thanks." The guy grinned, his perfect white teeth gleaming. "No problem. Just be careful, okay? Wouldn't want you to hurt that pretty face of yours." Kate's blush deepened, and she took a step back, suddenly aware of how close they were standing. "Right, thanks again. I've got to go." She hurried off, her heart pounding as she rounded the corner. She couldn't resist glancing back. The guy was still standing there, watching her with an amused expression. He gave her a little wave, and Kate quickly turned away, her face burning as she continued her walk to work. Kate shook her head, trying to clear it. She didn't have time for guys, no matter how cute they were. She had bigger things to worry about. But despite her best efforts, she couldn't quite shake the memory of those warm brown eyes and that dazzling smile. The next evening, Bella Luna was a hive of activity. Balloons and streamers adorned every surface, and the air was filled with the buzz of excited chatter and the clink of champagne glasses. The rich aroma of garlic and tomato sauce wafted from the kitchen, mingling with the sweet scent of fresh flowers adorning the tables. Kate, now dressed in a crisp white shirt and black slacks, darted between tables, her arms laden with dirty dishes. She couldn't help but feel a twinge of envy as she watched the party unfold. The guests were dressed in designer clothes, dripping with jewels and oozing wealth. It was a world so far removed from her own that it might as well have been on another planet. Must be nice, she muttered to herself, glancing at the birthday girl holding court at the center table. The girl was laughing, her head thrown back, surrounded by adoring friends and family. Kate felt a pang in her chest, wondering what it would be like to be that loved, that celebrated. Just then, Mr. Thompson appeared at her elbow, his perpetual frown deepening the lines on his face. "Kate, I need you on the floor." Melissa twisted her ankle and we're short-staffed. "Think you can handle it?" Kate's eyes widened, her heart leaping with excitement. "Really?" "I mean, yes. Of course. I won't let you down, Mr. Thompson." He nodded curtly, his expression stern. "See that you don't. Now get changed and get out there." Kate rushed to the back, her heart pounding with a mixture of nerves and anticipation. This was her chance to prove herself. As she changed into the waitress uniform, a black skirt and crisp white blouse, she gave herself a pep talk in the mirror. "You've got this," she whispered to herself, smoothing down her hair. "Just smile and be polite. You can do this." As she emerged in her new uniform, notepad in hand, Kate took a deep breath. The restaurant seemed even more crowded now, the noise level rising as the party got into full swing. For a moment, she felt overwhelmed by it all. But then she squared her shoulders and plastered on her best smile. This was what she'd been waiting for, her chance to show what she could do. With renewed determination, she stepped out onto the floor. For the next hour, Kate was a whirlwind of activity, taking orders, delivering drinks, and clearing tables. Despite the chaos, she felt exhilarated. This was what she was meant to do. She loved the fast pace, the challenge of juggling multiple tasks at once. Even when she nearly spilled a tray of drinks, saved only by her quick reflexes, she didn't let it faze her. Then came the moment that would change everything. Kate, the manager, called, waving her over. "Table 12 needs attention. The birthday girl wants something." Kate nodded, straightening her shirt as she approached the center table. Her palms were sweaty, and she wiped them surreptitiously on her skirt. This was the VIP table, the reason for tonight's big event. She couldn't afford to mess this up. "Good evening," she began, her rehearsed smile in place. "What can I get for?" Her voice trailed off as she locked eyes with the birthday girl. It was like looking in a mirror. Same blonde hair, same blue eyes, same heart-shaped face. Even the small mole just above her left eyebrow was identical to Kate's own. The restaurant fell silent as everyone noticed the uncanny resemblance. The birthday girl's mother went pale, her champagne glass slipping from her fingers and shattering on the floor. Her father looked like he might be sick, his face ashen. The birthday girl broke the silence first, her voice trembling. "Mom, Dad, what's going on? Who is she?" Kate, her hands shaking so badly she could barely hold her notepad, managed to choke out, What would you like to order?" The girl's father spoke up, his voice gruff and strained. "I think we're done here." Mr. Thompson appeared as if by magic, ushering Kate away. "Go take your break," he muttered, his eyes darting nervously between Kate and the shocked family. Now, as Kate fled to the back room, she could hear the whispers starting up behind her. The noise in the restaurant swelled as people began to speculate, their voices a dull roar in Kate's ears. She burst into the employee break room, her breath coming in short gasps. What was happening? Who was that girl and why did she look exactly like? An hour later, Kate found herself sitting in Mr. Thompson's cramped office, facing the birthday girl and her parents. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. The ticking of the clock on the wall seemed unnaturally loud in the silence. The birthday girl, Emily, Kate had learned, sat with her arms wrapped around herself. Her earlier excitement was replaced by shock and confusion. Her mother, Sarah, looked shell-shocked, her face pale and drawn. Emily's father, Robert Williams, cleared his throat, the sound startlingly loud in the quiet room. "I suppose I owe you all an explanation," he began, his voice heavy with regret. He ran a hand through his graying hair, his eyes darting between his wife, Emily, and Kate. Robert went on to explain about Sarah's difficult birth, the loss of their biological child, and his desperate decision to bring home one of a set of twins born to a mother who had given them up. As he spoke, Kate felt like she was listening to a story about someone else, some soap opera plot too far-fetched to be real. "I couldn't bear to see your mother suffer," Robert said, looking at his wife with pleading eyes. "I thought I was doing the right thing. I never thought we'd be faced with this situation." Emily sat in stunned silence, tears streaming down her face. Her perfect makeup was smeared, her carefully styled hair in disarray. Sarah looked like she might faint at any moment, her knuckles white as she gripped the arms of her chair. Kate, for her part, felt like the ground had been pulled out from under her. All her life, she'd wondered about her birth parents, imagined what they might be like. But this was beyond anything she could have dreamed up. She had a sister, a twin sister, and parents who had chosen one daughter over the other. "So, we're sisters?" Emily finally asked, her voice barely above a whisper. She looked at Kate with a mixture of wonder and fear, as if she couldn't quite believe what she was seeing. Kate nodded slowly, her own voice stuck in her throat. "Twins. I guess." Robert turned to Kate, his expression pained. "I'm so sorry, Kate. I know no apology can make up for what I did, but I hope you can understand. I never meant to hurt anyone. I thought I was protecting my family." Kate sat there, her mind reeling. Part of her wanted to scream, to rage at this man who had separated her from her sister, who had condemned her to a life in foster care. But another part of her, a part she didn't quite understand, felt a strange sense of relief. She wasn't alone. She had a family. I need some time to process this," Kate said, finally standing up. Her legs felt weak, and she had to steady herself against the desk. "I should get back to work." As she turned to leave, Emily called out, her voice cracking. "Wait, can we talk later? Please?" Kate paused at the door, then nodded slowly. "Yeah, I'd like that." As she walked out, Kate felt like she was stepping into a whole new world, a world where she had a sister, where she wasn't alone anymore. It was terrifying and exhilarating all at once. The rest of her shift passed in a blur. Kate went through the motions, taking orders and serving food, but her mind was a million miles away. Every time she caught a glimpse of her reflection in a mirror or a polished surface, she was struck anew by the realization that she wasn't just Kate anymore. She was Kate, Emily's twin sister. Kate, the daughter Robert and Sarah Williams had given up. As she left the restaurant that night, the cool night air a welcome relief after the stuffy interior, Kate felt both lighter and heavier than she ever had before. Her life had changed irrevocably in the space of a few hours. And as she walked home under the star-filled sky, she couldn't help but wonder what tomorrow would bring. Over the next few weeks, Kate and Emily spent every spare moment together, making up for lost time. They discovered they had the same laugh, the same taste in music, even the same allergies. It was like looking in a mirror, but one that talked back and had its own thoughts and feelings. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in a park near Kate's apartment, Emily turned to her sister with a mischievous grin. "So, Spill, any cute guys in your life?" Kate blushed, thinking of the handsome stranger who'd caught her attention that day on the street. His warm brown eyes and dazzling smile still haunted her dreams. "Not really," she lied, picking at a blade of grass. "I've been too focused on work and school to think about dating." Emily nudged her playfully, nearly toppling them both off the park bench. "Come on, there must be someone." "Ooh, what about that cute doctor at the children's home we visited last week? I saw the way he was looking at you." Kate's blush deepened, remembering Dr. Ethan's kind smile and gentle manner. "Dr. Ethan? We're just friends." Emily hummed, an echo of their mother's knowing tone. "Well, friend or not, he's totally into you. You should go for it." Kate shook her head, laughing. The ease with which she and Emily had fallen into a sisterly relationship still amazed her. It was as if they'd known each other all their lives. "Maybe. What about you and Jake? How are things going there?" Now it was Emily's turn to blush, her cheeks turning a delicate pink. "It's complicated. I really like him, but with everything that's happened, I don't know. It's a lot to process." Kate reached out, squeezing her sister's hand. The gesture felt natural, as if they'd been comforting each other for years. "I get it. But don't let this change who you are or what you want. You deserve to be happy." Emily smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. "So do you, Kate. So do you." As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, the two sisters sat in comfortable silence, each lost in thought about the strange twists and turns that had brought them together. The sound of children playing, dogs barking, and the distant hum of traffic created a soothing backdrop to their quiet contemplation. Kate marveled at how much her life had changed in such a short time. Just weeks ago, she'd been alone, focused solely on survival and her dreams of a better future. Now she had a sister, parents, a whole new family to get to know. It was overwhelming at times, but also incredibly exciting. As they gathered their things to leave, Emily linked her arm through Kate's. "You know," she said softly, "I always felt like something was missing in my life. I could never put my finger on it, but there was always this emptiness. Now I know why. It was you, my twin." My other half, Kate, felt a lump form in her throat. "I know exactly what you mean. All those years in foster care, I always felt so alone, so out of place. But now we're together," Emily finished for her, squeezing her arm. "And nothing's ever going to separate us again." As they walked out of the park, arm in arm, Kate felt a sense of completeness she'd never experienced before. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew she'd face them with her sister by her side. Months passed, and slowly but surely, Kate began to find her place in the Williams family. There were awkward moments, to be sure. Sarah often seemed unsure of how to act around her, alternating between overly solicitous and strangely distant. Robert was constantly trying to make up for lost time, showering Kate with gifts and attention that sometimes felt suffocating. But Emily was a constant source of support and love, and Kate found herself growing closer to her newfound sister every day. They spent hours on the phone, texting constantly, and meeting up whenever their schedules allowed. It was as if they were trying to cram 18 years of sisterhood into a few short months. One evening, as the family sat around the dinner table in the Williams' elegant dining room, Robert cleared his throat. The sound immediately silenced the quiet chatter, and Kate felt a familiar tension settle over the room. "Kate," Robert began, his voice slightly strained, "your mother and I have been talking, and well, we'd like to help you with your college tuition. If you'll let us, that is." Kate froze, her fork halfway to her mouth. The offer hung in the air, heavy with implications. "That's very generous, but I couldn't possibly." "Please," Sarah cut in, reaching across the table to take Kate's hand. Her touch was warm, tentative, as if she was afraid Kate might pull away. We know it doesn't make up for everything, but we want to do this. Your family, Kate. Tears welled up in Kate's eyes. The word family still felt strange, almost foreign when applied to her. For so long, she'd been alone, responsible only for herself. The idea of having people who wanted to support her, to help her, was overwhelming. I don't know what to say, she managed, her voice thick with emotion. Emily grinned, throwing an arm around her sister's shoulders. Say yes, dummy. Think of all the cute college boys you'll meet. Everyone laughed, the tension broken. As Kate looked around at her newfound family, Emily's bright smile, Sarah's hopeful eyes, Robert's tentative grin, she felt a warmth spreading through her chest. For the first time in her life, she felt like she truly belonged. Okay, she said softly, squeezing Sarah's hand. Thank you. I'd like that. The relief on Robert and Sarah's faces was palpable. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a start, a step towards healing the wounds of the past and building a future together. As the conversation turned to lighter topics, Emily's latest drama in her theater group, Robert's golf game, Sarah's book club, Kate found herself relaxing. The dining room, with its crystal chandelier and expensive artwork, no longer felt like an alien environment. It felt like home. Later that night, as Kate lay in bed in the guest room that was slowly becoming hers, she reflected on how much her life had changed. She thought of her small apartment, now sitting empty as she spent more and more time at the Williams house. She thought of her job at the restaurant, which she'd kept despite Robert and Sarah's offers to support her financially. She thought of Dr. Ethan, whose warm smile and kind eyes were becoming an increasingly frequent feature in her dreams. And she thought of Emily, her sister, her twin, her other half, the missing piece she'd never known she was looking for. As she drifted off to sleep, Kate felt a sense of peace she'd never known before. Whatever the future held, she knew she wouldn't face it alone.